I remember this one time I woke up at 5 a.m. I grabbed my towel, I grabbed my clothes, I took a cold shower, screeching in the cold shower, the pain was hitting my chest. I dry myself, I sit down, I look at the time, it's 5:10, and I begin working on my business. And I do that until 7 a.m. where I had to get ready for school. And a few months later, I wake up, I look at the time and I see it's 6 a.m. and I did the exact same thing. I grab my clothes, I grab my towel, I put them down in the chair next to the shower. And then when I went back into my room to get my socks, I lay down in bed just for a few seconds. I told myself it would just be a few seconds. I would be comfortable in my bed and I'm just gonna lay there, rest a little bit and recover my energy. And before I knew it, I woke up and it was 7:30 a.m. and I was late for school. And that story is gonna help you learn the lesson that I want to teach you, which is it's all on you. And something that I've realized among a lot of the entrepreneurs, a lot of the businessmen you may look up to, Hamza, Iman, Andrew Tate, Sam Ovens, Russell Brunson, these kind of high value men as you would call them, they all have one very interesting thing in common, and that is that they sacrificed for what they got. So ask yourself this question: how much are you willing to sacrifice to reach your goals? Because think about it this way, whenever you want to reach a goal, let's say right now your goal is 10k a month, your goal is 10% body fat, your goal is to make this much more muscle in the gym, your goal is to whatever your goal might be. When you set a goal, you do an agreement with God, or if you don't believe in God, with some higher power to get it. But you have to pay for it and you need currency for that. But the only currency you can get, you can't just like give money to the higher power or the God. You have to pay with your time, your effort, the sacrifices you have to make, the pain. You're gonna have to quit the bad habits. You're gonna have to stop going out with your friends every now and again, just a little bit of fun. It's just gonna be one time. None of that. It's gonna have to be sacrifices because, like I told in the beginning of the story, at the beginning of this video, I was super disciplined. I had a pinpoint. This was back when I still did copywriting, before I made my YouTube videos. I was pinpointing. I was gonna be copywriter. I was gonna write for the biggest companies in the known to man. I'm gonna write for the future business of whatever. And a few months later, I got comfortable with life. I got complacent. I was making the videos and it felt easy. It was only like 30 minutes of my time scripting, 30 minutes of my time recording the video, 30 minutes of my time maybe editing it. And that'll be like the lowest end, like maybe 1 hour and 30 minutes, maybe like 3 hours to make a video. And that was it. I had my day free. I could just watch YouTube videos. I could just do whatever I want. I could even hang out with my friends because I got the time for it, right? So I stopped putting in as much effort. And you saw what happened. I woke up late. I skipped a lot of my workout routines last week. I even started fapping again. I haven't fapped in months, in weeks. And out of nowhere, I just start fapping again. I just go into Reddit and just telling myself, oh, I'm just gonna check this fetish that I had. Oh, it's gonna be this kind of fetish. Oh yeah, it's very interesting. And I fapped. I started fapping. I started skipping my workouts. I didn't put as much effort into my business. And as an actionable step, you can even look into my channel. And a few weeks ago, you can see that I used to post almost like 3 times a week. And a few weeks ago, and maybe 1 week ago, I only posted like 1 time a week. That was because I was being complacent. I was waking up late. I wasn't really doing anything. I was just kind of watching videos, lying to myself. I was telling myself that I'm just learning. And there's something you need to understand is that when you're too comfortable with your life, when you can just get entertainment from social media, you don't need to go outside. When you can get feminine energy and intimacy from your phone and fapping and porn, then you're not going to want to attract girls. You're not going to want to go outside and actually attract energy. Maybe you're still young and living with your parents. You don't really need to make money. Your parents already pay for you, and in theory you could literally just lay there and do nothing for the rest of your day and you'll still be fine, safe, because you're in a house, you have water, you have your basic needs, you have porn, you don't need to go outside, you got social media, you got entertainment. It's exactly those things that you need to sacrifice to accomplish what you actually want. Like quitting porn. When you stop getting entertained by social media and random little YouTube videos, and you actually start working and you actually start creating rather than consuming, then you get a business. And a way you can do this is use negative emotion. When you're too comfortable with life, then you're not going to want to make progress. Think about it this way. Imagine if a millionaire, maybe an entrepreneur you look up to, imagine if he just went back to, I don't know, maybe he's making like 1 million per month, and out of nowhere he just starts making 100k per month. Now, for us, like kind of low-end guys, we kind of see that as like, oh, you would wish to make 100k a month. But for this big entrepreneur, his identity is that he's making 1 million per month. And if his business goes down to 100K per month, he's gonna try everything in his power to get it back to 1 million, because of his identity and because of it's so uncomfortable for him to live at 100K a month. Maybe because of his expenses, and maybe because he's used to making 1 million per month. That is the same energy you want to have. It's like if I put you in these boiling hot rocks, if I just like put you on top of these boiling hot rocks, you're gonna try and get off them as fast as possible. That's exactly what you want. You want to be uncomfortable with the life you have. You almost have to have this hatred, this negative emotion toward the life you're living right now. And negative emotions almost have this bad rap that, oh, it's bad for you, it's bad for your mental health. But when you have bad emotions, imagine this. If I tell you, if you walk 3 miles right now and you walk 3 miles to that tree over there, you're gonna get £100. Like, yeah, fair enough. You probably will do it because you're broke, to be honest. And I'm broke too, I'm not gonna lie, I would probably do it. But think about it if I said it this way. Go walk to that tree 3 miles away or you're losing £100. Now, that is a completely different message. It's the same thing. You're still technically gaining $100. But it's just the way you frame it, from a positive to a negative. We as humans are wired to move away from pain rather than move towards pleasure. Just write down, maybe in your journal, maybe in your PC, whatever, write down 3 things that you just hate about your life. It can be simply, for me it was like, my parents are about to buy a house and they're gonna get into debt. Obviously they don't really need my help, they're okay with their job, but just make yourself believe that you need to make money, you need to make money, you need to make money. Obviously you don't have the bad mindset that you need to make money right now, you need to make money fast, because there is no such thing as making money fast. I tell myself that if I don't make money, other men are gonna make money, they're gonna steal my money, they're gonna steal the success that was meant to be mine, the woman that was meant to be mine, therefore the life that I want to have. You have to have this negative feeling for the life that you're living to move to a better life. So just like I said, you would rather move away from pain rather than move towards pleasure, because you've probably tried it for maybe a few months, maybe a few years, that you wanted to make more muscle, you wanted to make more money, you wanted to attract more girls, but you kind of want to move towards pleasure. If you frame it in a way that, oh, you need to get girls or else another man is gonna steal the future wife that could have been you, the future girlfriend that could have been yours. If you change your mindset from, oh, I can make 10K a month, to somebody else is gonna steal, another man is gonna steal my success from me, then you're using negative emotions. So that's one of the most powerful levers you can use as a human being, because of your psychology, because the way we're wired. Imagine this, you had 100 days to make 10K a month. Now, 100 days to make 10K a month is pretty tough, right? But imagine you have 100 days to make 10K a month, and if you do so, if you manage to do it in 100 days and you make 10K a month, you'll get your dream girl, you'll get your financial freedom, you'll get everything you want out of life, the girls, the money, the status, everything that you're seeking, everything that you want right now. But if you don't manage to make 10K a month in 100 days, you will die a slow and painful death for a whole 48 hours. Imagine 10 out of 10 pain. Like, remember when you kind of put your hand in the fire, or maybe you put your hand near a stove, or maybe you hurt your bones, maybe you fell on your hand, whatever it might be, maybe an injury you had. Imagine that, but times 10 and all over your body. Now, if you had that kind of driving force, if you don't want to have this pain and you want to have this life, then you're going to try everything in your power to get to this 10K a month. You're not going to want to fuck around. You're not going to want to check social media for just 10 minutes. You're not just going to want to do this activity or go out with your friends or watch porn. You're focused on every single hour, every single minute that you waste is you moving towards you getting this painful life. And every minute you spend learning, every minute you spend creating, then you're moving towards that life that you want to live. It could be like you training as an athlete, you wasting one day just checking social media, just sleeping in, snoozing, going out with your friends, scrolling on TikTok, scrolling on Instagram, watching useless videos online because you're bored, skipping the workout, skipping the gym. You're much like an athlete training for the Olympics, where the difference between gold and you living the life that you want and you just losing the competition and getting bronze or not even getting a medal at all could literally come down to 1 nanosecond. Think about it this way. Who's the fastest man alive? You know him, right? It's Usain Bolt. Who's the second man alive? Nobody fucking knows. Nobody knows who the second fastest man alive is. And if you waste one day, you're never gonna get it back. So you're gonna want to do everything in your power to get to this 10K a month. You're not gonna mess around. You're not gonna just check social media. You're not gonna skip your workout. You're not gonna skip your habits. You're gonna be focused on getting it. Imagine if you had the same energy but right now. Obviously, in 100 days, you're not just gonna magically die or anything, but if you had this kind of mentality, then you make much more progress than you are right now. There's an interesting way to think about it. Imagine when you really, really need to pee. Let's say you've drank a lot of water in the morning and you've done some sports and you've gone to the gym and you came back home and you're taking a shower and you go downstairs to cook something, but then the urge to pee gets to you and you've been holding it in since the gym, since the shower, and now you really, really need to pee. Now you're going to do everything in your power. You're not going to care about anyone or anything. You're going to do everything in your power to pee. And imagine if you had the same energy for your business. You do everything in your power to succeed. So an interesting practice you can do has helped me and will probably benefit you a lot. And that almost every single successful entrepreneur that you look up to does is writing down a few things that you hate about your life that you would change and how you're going to change them. So write them down in a journal, in a piece of paper, in a document in your PC, and tell yourself, like, I need to make money right now or else another man is going to steal my success and he's going to fuck the future wife that I have. That is powerful negative emotions because you as a man, you want money, you want status, you want sex. It's just the truth. We as men are just wired to be like that. If we weren't, then we would just die out basically. But imagine if you have that negative emotion and really make these personal to yourself. Like I told you, for me, it was like, I need to make money because my parents are about to go into debt for 10 years. And that's probably not true. They're probably not going to go into debt for that long. But just kind of lie to yourself and tell it like in a more extreme way. Like, my parents are going to go into debt for 10 more years. They're going to be 50, still working with arthritis in their hands, looking at me, wishing I would have retired them. But I'm just here watching social media, watching porn, wasting my time with my friends. That is the negative emotion that you want. So make it really personal to yourself. Really ask yourself, what is something that I really want? Why is it that I want money? What is it that my dream life has that I don't have right now? Whether it's financial freedom, but why? Because another man's gonna steal my success. Another man's gonna fuck my future wife. Another man's gonna steal the life that I would have lived. Here are a few of mine that I wrote down. Having the guilt of being broke, not providing for my family, my future wife getting piped by another guy who worked harder than my lazy ass. That's a powerful one. Cheap things that contain estrogenics. So cheap things like fucking $1 soap bars from the hotel that like are rough against your skin and that have weird ass chemicals that mess up your health and mess up your hormones. Having to see my mom wake up at 7 a.m. to commute to work. If you make something that personal to you, for example, that's personal to me, then that's such a powerful driving force. And imagine you look at this every single day. You look at this every single day. You wake up, you look at this, and you remind yourself why you're working hard. You're not going to want to mess around. You're not going to want to do your bad habits. You're just going to want to focus. You don't want to live the life that you're living right now. You're not comfortable with your life. You're going to want to step off these hot stones that you're living in right now. I think being feminine and submissive to daddy, the boss. I am my own boss. So to explain that a little bit further, it's like, usually if you get imagine you get a 9-to-5 job, then you're relying on the boss to give you a promotion. You're relying on the boss to not fire you. You're relying on the boss to do everything for you. And what is that? You're relying on another man for your survival. And that's feminine. And you're being submissive to daddy, to the boss that's not letting you take vacations because you need to work, right? You can't just skip work. You have to work to make money. Slave away at the matrix by doing things I hate, like a 9-to-5. So having to work a 9-to-5. Slave away to the big corporations. Not having the money to provide for my future wife, not showing any results despite all my efforts. So when you use all these negative emotions and you look at these every single morning, you're not going to want to mess around. You're not going to want to check social media. You're not going to want to even watch porn. You're not going to want to do this. If you keep reminding yourself throughout your day that you're living an uncomfortable life that you want to get out of, you want to level up, you want to make progress, you will succeed. It's just like everything that these big influencers do. They were uncomfortable with their life. They hated being broke. They didn't want to be broke. So they want to be successful. And therefore, they became successful. And another actionable thing you can do is get a piece of paper. And let's say you've already written down, maybe on like a Google, maybe on Notion. I will link a template below for so you can make this on Notion, which is a note-taking app, which I've been using for a very long time. So I'm going to link kind of like the template for it, and you can kind of just mix and match with your own kind of things, and that'll be the, I don't know, first link in the description where you can just click it and that'll be a template. When you've done that, grab a piece of paper such as your journal or maybe your same with this note-taking app of Notion, and ask yourself, why am I struggling with X? Why am I struggling with porn? Why am I not making more money? Why am I not why am I not consistent with this habit? I know it sounds kind of simple, kind of dumb, but usually when you have a problem, when you have an issue, it's like, it's kind of circulating in your mind. You kind of just like, your thoughts kind of just come and go. You don't really make any progress. You don't really know why you're struggling. I mean, you kind of know why you're struggling before. You kind of know why you're not consistent, but you don't really have a clear plan of action to take off the habit. When you write this down, for example, why am I struggling with being consistent with my habits? And now you're actually untangling this knot in your head and actually kind of just putting it into paper. You can see it logically rather than emotionally. You see it logically, and naturally your brain, when it sees it logically, it'll just naturally come up with like 3 reasons why you're struggling and like 3 ways you can improve. For example, I did this a few nights ago and I read, why do I even fap? And I came up with, I have nothing else to do. I have no reason to not do it. So I don't have like any uncomfortable. I could just fap all day if I really wanted to, because I'm comfortable. I'm living in a house. And I read, the issue is I'm too comfortable with life. I can just get intimacy from my phone I can just stay up late. So I'm just comfortable. And you see, I'm just kind of breaking these thoughts into your mind, because let's be honest, you kind of already know how to solve your problem. You just don't really want to do it. You kind of know, you've already watched like a lot of videos on how to stop porn. You already watch a lot of videos on how to be productive. You already watched probably thousands of videos on how to make money online, but you don't really do it. And that's because you just don't have it in a clear, practical way. So journaling is really valuable because you can see it in a logical way where you can just come up with reasons on how can you improve. So I wrote down like, why do I even fap? And I came up with 5 reasons on why I fap and 3 ways I could improve. So your brain will just naturally do that. It's not about just watching another video on productivity. It's not about watching another video on business. Yeah, they can be helpful, but it's about asking yourself, how can you make progress right now? How can you level up? In that same Notion template, I'll give you why am I struggling with this problem. And I highly suggest you write in a journal. You write down your thoughts kind of like as a human would. Imagine like in the 1600s, Alexander Hamilton or whatever, I don't know, would be writing like the Constitution, whatever. It's just kind of a way better practice to write it down rather than on a PC. And I really hope you benefited from this video. And some cheeky plugs that will be that if you want to join a community, I know you hear this everywhere, everybody wants you to join your community, but if you want to join my community where you can ask me questions about habits, about productivity, about mindsets, I'm making a productivity course right now, and that'll be the first thing in the description. I know everyone's telling you to join your community, but if you want to join mine, then go ahead. And the second link in the description will be, I will do a strategy call on how you can improve your habits, how you can improve your productivity, like the things I just told you in this video about living an uncomfortable life to actually make progress, kind of things like that, like a 30 to 45 minute call where you can ask me personal, like deep questions, because kind of making this video is kind of like a broad. I don't really know who I'm talking to. I could speak to a total loser who's never woken up early, or I could be talking to some high level CEO. I could be talking to anyone. So that'll be the second link in the description. For $5 you can book a strategy call with me for 30-45 minutes, and you can make huge progress with your habits, productivity, mindset. And second link in the description, and I'll see you there.